In a peaceful town surrounded by mountains, there lived a kind-hearted man named Ethan. He was known for his generosity and willingness to help others. Despite his goodness, Ethan often felt sad. He could not understand why happiness was so temporary. Some days he was filled with joy, and other days he felt lost and hopeless. One day, an old sage visited the town. He was a traveler known for his wisdom and had helped many people find purpose in life. When Ethan heard about him, he rushed to meet the sage. "Oh, wise sage, I feel lost. I do good things, I help others, but still, I feel sad sometimes. Why does happiness not stay forever?" Ethan asked with a heavy heart. The sage smiled and said, "Come with me, and I will show you something that will change your life." Curious, Ethan followed the sage up a hill where they reached a vast open field. In the middle of the field stood a large, beautiful tree. Its branches spread wide, giving shade and comfort to anyone who sat under it. The sage pointed to the tree and asked, "Do you see this tree? It stands strong, but do you think it has never faced storms?" Ethan looked at the tree and replied, "Of course, it must have faced storms, harsh winds, and rains." The sage nodded and said, "Exactly. The tree does not break because it has deep roots. Similarly, life will bring you storms, sadness, and difficulties. But if you have strong roots of wisdom and understanding, you will never fall." Ethan listened carefully. The sage continued, "Happiness is like the sunlight that touches the tree. Sometimes it is there. Sometimes it is hidden by the clouds. But the tree does not stop growing. Likewise, your happiness will come and go, but you must keep growing." Ethan asked, "But how can I make my roots strong? How can I stay happy even when sadness comes?" The sage smiled and said, "Let me tell you a story. There was once a young prince named Lucas who lived in a magnificent palace. He had everything: wealth, power, and luxuries beyond imagination. Yet he often felt an unexplained emptiness inside him. He would sit alone at night, staring at the moon, feeling as if something was missing from his life. One evening, a mysterious traveler arrived at the palace. He carried an old wooden box and requested an audience with the prince. Lucas, intrigued by the traveler's presence, granted him entry. The traveler placed the box before Lucas and said, "Inside this box lies the answer to your sadness. But be warned, once you open it, you must follow the instructions exactly as they are given." Curious, Lucas opened the box and found a simple candle inside. Confused, he looked at the traveler, who said, "Take this candle and light it in the darkest room of your palace. Wait for what happens next." Lucas did as instructed. He took the candle to a hidden chamber in the palace, a room that had been abandoned for years. As soon as he lit the candle, the room was illuminated with a golden glow. But then, something unexpected happened. The shadows in the room began to move, twisting and forming strange shapes. The candlelight cast eerie figures on the walls, and Lucas felt a deep sense of unease. Terrified, he was about to blow out the candle when he remembered the traveler's warning. He gathered his courage and watched as the shadows continued to shift. Then he noticed something strange. Amidst the moving shadows, there was a small, steady light. As he focused on it, the fear inside him slowly disappeared. He realized that no matter how big the shadows seemed, the small light remained constant. The next morning, Lucas rushed to the traveler and asked, "What was that? Why did I see the shadows move, and what was the small light?" The traveler smiled and said, "The shadows were your fears, your doubts, and your sadness. They grow when you pay attention to them. But did you see that small light? That is your inner strength. No matter how big the shadows seem, if you focus on that small light, you will never be consumed by darkness.